I think we may have fixed the comments issue, hopefully. I know, Catherine, you were helping us, and we think we've figured it out, that it was because I had my iPad in a landscape orientation and it only works when it's in a portrait. So who knew? That was the case, but
It's taken a while to load.
yeah.
It says on here that everything's live.
Yeah, so Ant's going to look at the comments for me. Hope we've got your glitter costume on as a glamorous assistant. Oh yeah, he's very glittery. He will be very glittery by the end of this. Ant's going to check all the comments for me because obviously I can't see them while I'm crafting at the moment, and it will just help me a little bit if I've got my glamorous assistant at my side.
She's not paying me though.
No, definitely not. So that's the plan. And in future, we're going to see if we can get my face on screen. Oh, the cat's joining us as well now, so that's nice. So it's a family affair. So I think we'll get started. Because you can still see them through yours, can't you? You just can't see them via mine. So, okay. So, what I've got here are two other cards that we made as part of demonstrations while we were at Crafting Live in Peterborough. So what I thought was they're really nice little cards to make, and while I was in a bit of a Christmassy mood, I thought that we would have a go at making this little guy, the Warm Winter Wishes. So that's the plan for today. So I've already stamped out some of my images. So I've already got the little penguin, but I do need to stamp out the tree and some of the accessories. So I'll do that first, I think, and we'll get those cut out and then we'll work out our background. So I've got a little scrap of paper here that I might as well use, and I'll just get my my stamping platform out ready. And then we can make a start on stamping this out. So one of the challenges when you're at an event is obviously being able to take all of everything you need with you to be able to craft. So because you can't take everything, your entire craft room with you, it makes you craft in a different way, and you have to use what's available to you. So in some ways it's quite refreshing because it means that you've limited your choices a little bit. Sometimes when you've got so much to choose from, you don't know where to begin. So I have to move my little llama out of the way because he's getting in my way. And we shall stamp this in some Memento Tuxedo Black.
Catherine says it's so cute, by the way, which I think she means the penguin, or maybe the card in general.
Thank you very much. It's a really cute set, and this is quite a nice card to recreate for Christmas cards, because there's not too many elements to it, so you could batch make this, I think. Although I'm probably going to prove that it takes ages now, but hopefully not. So we'll just give that one a little clean up. And so that's my little tree. But while I've got my stamps out, I think I will also do the little bauble, because that's what the penguin's going to be popping on his tree, and it's only a really small stamp. So normally I would just freehand do it, but while I've got my my stamp tool out, it means that it does make it that much easier to do, and that's stamped really nicely. So so that's that. So what else can we tell you, Ant? What else have we been up to? What have we been doing while we're stamping? we've been at Peterborough, haven't we? That's been the main focus of all efforts recently, has been preparing for the show, and then
that's it. So we went on Thursday, drove a couple of hours and spent three or 4 hours setting up, and then Friday, Saturday, it was great actually, meeting all the new people.
This is Rosie, by the way, who has just decided to
get your butt
come
out
out of the way. Cats and crafting.
She's coming back.
She's coming back. She liked it that much. She's coming back.
Stop being naughty.
Meow. She wants to get involved.
Oh.
Bless her. Naughty cat. So I'm going to use this scrap of cardstock as well. After we've got over the little cat intrusion, to do my sentiment, because there's enough space there for me to be able to cut that out. I think afterwards. So I'm just going to line that up, so that there's enough gap all the way around. So that I can cut that out afterwards as well. So we just pop that on there.
Is that Anila?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and Anila, I think. I'm not quite sure how we pronounce your name, my love.
Anila says it's great to see you crafting live, because she always catches it afterwards.
Oh, yes, she has to catch me afterwards. Oh, well, I'm really, really glad you were able to watch live.
Katrina's here, she says hello.
Hello, Katrina. So I just, I'm doing that with some VersaFine. I prefer VersaFine for stamping sentiments, as I believe it just gives a bit of a crisper image.
I believe that also.
Oh, in your many years of experience.
As a novice crafter.
Yeah, you prefer that. So Ant did all of the stamping for the kits that we put together for crafting live. So you're a very experienced stamper now, aren't you?
I don't know about experience, but yeah.
Yeah,
I gave it a go.
you gave it a go. You did really well.
Shabnese is asking, what stamping platform are you using?
So this, oh my lord, I'm going to forget what it's called now.
It's a load and fold, isn't it?
No, it's they're the rare earth ones, the load and fold.
Right.
This one, it doesn't have the name on it anymore, but I will find out for you, because I saw the name somewhere recently and I thought, that's what it was called. Because I know the it's very similar to the Misty, and it's something like My Perfect Thing, or I can't remember. But I will find out for you, and I will pop it in the comments afterwards, so that you've got that information. Because I did find it recently, and I'm going to have a think about which website it was that I saw that on.
Shabnese says thank you. It looks good.
Thank you very much. It is. It's really good. I think, if I'm right, it is cheaper than the Misty. So that, but it works in a very similar way. It's the similar quality. So now I've got my my images all stamped out. Lost my little penguin. Where is he? So I've got my little penguin. I'm going to just cut him away from the rest of this, just so that we know what it is that we're working with. And I've also stamped out my sentiment, so we'll put that away so we know that these are the bits that we're going to be working with, so I don't get confused. And I'm going to give these a colour. So to colour my my tree, so like I say, I was limited to the colours that I was able to use while we were in Peterborough, sorry. So the colours, the greens that I had with me were a pea green, which was the YG63, and the moss, which is YG67. So just use these two colours to create the tree there. So how I did that, I started with my lighter colour, and I'm flicking, using a flicking motion to create the illusion of, I suppose, the tree needles. They're not really branches, are they? They're needles. And I'm not going all the way to the edge because I want to give the illusion of there being a little bit of snow on the edges of my tree branches. So again, for the next layer, doing the same, just doing a little bit of a flicking motion, and starting by pressing my the nib of my pen down and then lifting it up as I move down the paper, so it gives this flicked effect. I'm doing that all the way across, and the same for the last layer as well. So hopefully the colouring can be quite a lengthy process, but it's something that I do quite enjoy watching. I particularly like watching people colour when it's speeded up. So hopefully this isn't going to be too laborious for people to watch. But the next colour, the YG67, the darker colour, I'm doing exactly the same motion with the flicking strokes over the top, but I'm not going right the way to the edge of the paler green strokes that I did. So I'm just doing that so that you can still see some of the paler green tips underneath. And this will give the illusion of a bit of depth and a bit of shadow under each layer.
Shebney says, clever colouring, it's so therapeutic watching colouring, which I think is what you just said, that you love watching people
I do
colour.
love to watch people colour. There is something really therapeutic about it, Shebney. Hello there, by the way. I don't think we said hello to Shebney.
Yeah, she asked what stamping platform.
Right, that's right, yes. Sorry.
I believe I believe that Hannah Kearns has joined us all the way from Greece as well.
Oh, from Greece! Wow. Hello, Hannah. How are you? Is it the same time in Greece? Is it?
I think it's 2 hours in front.
2 hours in front.
Yeah, I'm not sure why she's not in the bar.
I was gonna say she had a few sherries by now.
Well, she'll be on the ouzo, won't she?
Oh yeah, that's right, the ouzo.
Yamas.
So I'm just going back over both layers now with my lighter green, so just going over all the way down over both of the layers of colour that I've already laid down to blend out the darker green a little bit and blend that into the paler green underneath. So, and you'll still see the darker green strokes a little bit because I've not fully blended that through, so that you still get the effect of there being lines and then the pine needles effect, if that makes sense. So that's the green layer. That's all I did to do with my green layer, and then I just did, because again I'd only taken a handful of colours with me, I'm using an E13 to do the base of my tree, and then an E35, and again because you have so many colours, or you build up so many colours over time. If you're anything like me, you then don't know which ones to choose because you've got that many. So sometimes the less is more really does work better. For my star, am I talking too fast?
No.
For my star, because I'm going to do a blue background, I did my star in blue. I didn't bring any yellow markers with me, which I've no idea why I did that. So I haven't been able to do anything yellow the whole time that we were there. So again, I had to improvise.
Julie Dodds has joined us, the
Hello.
lady from Peterborough from Strawberry Mill. So
Hello
she loved
there.
watching you do this at the weekend.
Oh, thank you. Hello, how are you?
And Katrine says that she loves the tree stamp. It's one of the best she has.
Oh, well, thank you.
And we also have Claudia Morella's Molinari. I hope I've said that right.
That sounds
like
like a
us.
very
She said
exotic
hi.
Hello there. Hi. Oh, thank you for joining us. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad that Julie's joined us, because I was going to contact Julie about a stamp set that she was interested in. So we'll catch up afterwards. So for the star, I've put a layer of the palest colour, which was my B 000. I don't have a colour that's very close to it with me, so I'm using the B14, and I've just applied some dots of it to one side to just create a little bit of a dappled effect. And the idea of that is that when I put some shimmer over the top, it'll look like a shimmery, silvery star is the effect that I was going for. And then because I'm trying to keep my colour palette quite simple, I'm going to use just the red accent colours for my penguin's feet, for his little slippers, and then for the base of the tree and the bauble. So the two red colours, or R colours that I'm using, I've got an R24 and an R27. So I'm going to start with the R24, which is the lightest of the two colours, and is the way that I always colour, is start with my lightest colour and work towards my darkest. So I'll just complete the centre portion of my bauble, and then taking the darkest of the two colours, I'm just going to apply a bit of shadow to one side of each of those. And this is, again, just simple colouring. I've only used two colours, two shades for each colour. So I know sometimes, you know, you could spend hours colouring and maybe use 3 or 4 different shades to get depth, but this is perfect for just 2 colours, and that works perfectly. So that's my tree. So that was really quite quick.
Beautiful colouring.
Thank you very much. And excuse me. And now for my penguin. So my penguin, I'm going to do in the T range of colours, so the toner range. So I've got a T3, a T5 and a T7. These are quite a nice warm grey. I'm not sure if that's the same colour I used on the one in the card, because I'd coloured that one previously. But I do need some more grey pens, which Ant will be delighted to hear.
Yes, because you need more pens.
Obviously need more pens.
I've just asked the group for any nominations for a name.
Oh.
For Mr. Penguin.
For Mr. Penguin, that's a good idea. Yeah, so I'm just going to lay down my base colour, which is the T3. And I always do items or objects or critters that are black in grey, because if we were to colour them all in black, which is I guess is the colour that they appear, they would appear very flat. So to give them a bit of dimension, colouring them in grey allows you to add some highlights, means that their faces are visible, and so on. So I'm using the same principle as I would with all my other colouring, is that the shadows would be underneath any other objects, like their arms or wings in this case, just to try and add a little bit of depth. Sorry, were you going to say something to me then?
I was just going to say, when I coloured the penguin in for that card that I made you, I coloured him in black, and yes. You're right, it looked too flat.
Yeah, you can't really add any shading, can you? Because it's all just one colour. So
far we've Katrina calls him Pete.
Pete the penguin.
Julie suggests
you've made me smudge now. Look, making me laugh.
We've got Percival from Katrina.
Oh, Percival, I like
Shabnese says that he looks like a Pablo.
Oh, hello, Pablo. Yes.
Maybe draw a little moustache on him.
Pablo the penguin. Yeah. I like Pablo. I think I'm going to go with Pablo. I think.
Yes.
So I did go over the lines there because Katrina made me laugh. So that's Katrina's fault. So yes, that's it. So I've just gone over the darkest grey with the mid-tone colour, and now finally I'm going to go back over with the lightest grey, just to bring all of those together, so that there are some highlights around his bum and the top of his wing. It is a wing, isn't it? It's not a flipper, it's a wing. Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They don't fly.
They don't fly, but they're a flat. Are they considered a flightless bird? So, yeah. So I didn't have any yellow, so I'm going to cheat now, and I am going to use a bit of yellow because I don't think he wants a blue beak. So
it's not frozen over.
No, it's not frozen. So I'm just using a bit of YR12 to do his beak, and I'll just do that really simply, just one colour. You could add more if you want to, but I don't think there's really any need. It's a small area. And then for his slippers, I'm going to do those in the red.
So Katrine says that I have so much to learn, which is exactly true. But I know a lot more now than I did 12 months ago.
You do, yeah, you do, definitely.
Yeah, about my penguin being flat.
About your penguin being flat, yeah.
And Katrina says, bust out your white gel pen to open that smudge.
Oh yes, I will. That's a good shout. Yes, I could. It might be a bit much to use the blender pen, I'm thinking. So, because what I would normally do, I would try and do, if I could find it. What have I done with that?
What are you looking for?
My blender pen, there it is. Yes, so this bit where I have smudged, which you can only just see, but we don't like it. I would just push some of that colour back. Is my head in the... My head's not in the...
Sometimes your fringe is getting...
Is my fringe getting in the way? So I've pushed most of that back, and then like Katrina says, if there's anything that still looks a bit blurred, then I can go over that with the white jelly roll pen. So I will do that when that's dried. So so that is it for the colouring. That's not, anything too dramatic. They're pretty much all the pens that we used, so not too much. We'll pop those out of the way, and then we'll get these die cut. So
your hands still look really, really brown, by the way.
Do they?
Your tan's not fully washed off.
My tan's not fully washed off. It has off my face, unfortunately. That looks very white, very pale. So here we go. So we'll do the little tree. Line that up. I've got a bit of washi tape already lined up.
Pride washi tape.
Yep. So yeah, the washi tape we need to get listed in the shop. Yes. We've got a few new items that are in production that will hopefully make it to the shop in the next couple of weeks. So always bringing us some to have a little look at. So yeah, so this is our rainbow washi tape, or pride washi tape as Ant likes to call it. So that's the washi tape that I'm using, so that's really good. So this will hopefully be on the website really soon. Thank you very much, lovely assistant.
My pleasure.
And then we've got our little penguin, to do as well.
Katrina says exciting.
Yeah.
And Catherine says woo.
They're very excitable. Okay. So I'm just going to add a bit more tape to the bottom of this, just so that it doesn't shift about. Get my...
So pretty from Anila.
Oh, thank you.
Am I saying that right? Anila.
You're asking me, I don't know. I'm sure she'll tell you if you're saying it wrong.
Yes, please do.
Please tell us,
your name right.
If we're doing it wrong. It's a shame we can't hear you.
Pardon?
It's a shame we can't hear. No, shut up. Oh dear me. Right, so I'm just popping these through. As you can see, my snap platform is very bent. But the washi tape makes sure that it all stays in place, and it goes through the machine absolutely fine, so don't worry too much about that.
Anila says you said it right. So
yay!
Anila. Thank you for confirming that. Claudia, 4 love hearts. She loves it.
Oh, excellent. 4 love hearts. Right, so let's grab this out of here, and let's see if I have done it if I've lined them up correctly. Excuse me while
Sorry, I'm just straightening your board.
you're straightening my board up. Thank you. You don't want it to be wonky, do we? No, it's wonky. I made it wonkier. Okay, so let's try and get my washi tape off. There we go. And that one comes off there, so that's my tree. Looking good. Get that one lined up right. And then this is my little bauble. There you go. So, and it's really useful having the little die to cut that little bad boy out, because you would be struggling.
Can you imagine trying to fussy cut that out?
Yes, that I wouldn't even bother. And then my little penguin. So now we've got the elements, our little images ready to go. So, and I put them away, but I am going to use those actually. So we'll just pop these in my little llama there to keep them safe, and then we'll have a go at the background now. So the background, I need some cardstock. So I'm going to look to try and get these back in stock. These are our A6 super smooth pieces of cardstock. They're already pre-cut to size, which is so handy. And then I'm going to use one of the dies from the Hello Nesting Rectangles die set. And the size that I think I used, will have been the second to largest die, I believe. Yes. Is that right?
Katrina says she is awful at fussy cutting, especially curved lines.
Yes.
The dies are worth every penny.
Oh, thank you, Katrina. They really are, though, because I'm exactly the same. And I've also said the same to Ant about cutting out sentiments with trying to use any kind of trimmer or anything like that. I have to have a die because they just come out wonky. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. So you're much better at it, aren't you?
I've got a better eye for a straight line, I guess.
Yeah, you must have. I just end up just shaving more and more off it until I just have to start again. So
Sharon Nettleship has joined us.
Hey Sharon, how are you? What is everybody doing while this evening? Are you all watching and crafting, or are you just got a cup of tea on the go or a glass of wine on the go and watching, or what's everybody else
put an
up to?
emoji in the comments box. Are you drinking tea or wine?
Oh,
or
controversial.
Coffee?
Or what else could it be? Something stronger. Okay, so the nesting dies, if you haven't seen them already, I'm obsessed with them. I'm using them all the time at the moment. But they cut a stitched line on the inside and on the outside. So if you're using a larger piece of cardstock, you can actually cut a really nice frame from this. So, and I do think I had one. Oh yeah, here's one I prepared earlier. Here's one that I think was an offcut from the weekend, and that's cut a really nice frame which you could then make into a shaker card. So that's a really useful bit from this set. So the largest piece cuts the stitch line on the inside, but then all the others do the outside and the inside. So I'm going to just use this piece. So this piece here is going to be our background, and I'm going to use some tumbled glass distress ink.
Can you believe Anila's in bed? It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I can't believe you're watching at that time. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your commitment.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Shabnez has just finished the ironing, so she's relaxing now.
Oh, bless her.
Katrina's under a blanket with her cat Louie on her
Oh.
and Katrin is tidying, and she's on a lemsip. Are you not very well, Katrin?
You're not very well, bless you.
Oh, Katrina, once the cat gets up, she'll be at a craft desk working on top secret projects.
Oh, top secret.
Ooh.
Top secret time for tea projects. So I'm just going to give that. So I've been really naughty with my brushes over the weekend, and I've mixed colours together that I wouldn't normally. So we'll see what.
Very naughty.
I know I've beat out because I didn't have any spares with me. So
I believe these are the products that Julie referred to as seeing and being very excited.
Yes. Oh, right.
At the weekend.
Yeah. So this is one of our blender brushes, and I'm going to use the tumbled glass first, just to create a bit of a background. So I'm just going to gradually add some colour, and this is when obviously when you're watching other people blend, can be a little bit, perhaps a bit tedious.
You notice that you start well off the page there as well.
I do,
Is
yes.
there a reason you do that?
Yeah, these, to be fair, these brushes are very forgiving, so you don't necessarily need to do it. I think it's probably just force of habit, but what tends to happen is you use some of the ink up before you get to the page, which means then you're not getting a harsh line as you bring it on. With some of the older style blending tools, going straight into the page would have been a very scary thing to do, because you wouldn't have been able to get a nice blend. That isn't so much the case with the blender brushes, because they've got a nice curved surface area, so you don't get the harsh line that you would get perhaps with your foam pads, which have a very harsh edge. But there is still that element of, I suppose, old habits die hard. So I'm just bringing that colour into the centre, and you can see we're getting a really nice blend now with the brush. It might be a little bit difficult to see on camera, because I think it's building up nicely, the colour, actually. But
yeah, you can see that. Quite
yeah,
well,
when it starts off really quite pale. But it's better to start pale and build your colour up than go straight in too dark and not be able to blend that out seamlessly. So I do prefer to build my colour up gradually.
What do you call that bit you're blending there? Do you call it the background or the scene?
So yeah, so this will effectively be my focal panel for my card.
Focal panel.
So yeah, so I think that's probably what I would call it.
I was just saying
it's a
to Sharon
background
that
panel, maybe.
She's missed the colouring of Pablo the Penguin and the Christmas
Oh
tree.
yes, sorry you missed that bit, but you will be able to watch the video afterwards if you wanted to watch that bit, if that was something you particularly wanted to see. So I'm just going to clean my my work surface. I think in previous videos I've probably removed this particular mat and used the one underneath. The one underneath is just an IKEA placemat, but is really good for blending. So yeah, normally I would probably do that, but today I'm going to just go with the flow, I think. So I'm just going to use the microfiber cloth to wipe off the excess of that ink and pop that to one side. And then I've got a choice of a couple of different, I might use the same one again actually, yeah, because they are quite close together, rather than the other option is a bit green, and I don't want to mix those two colours together. So the next part to create my background is I'm going to use the Line 'em Up stencil, if I can find it in here. Here we go. So this is one of my favourite stencils. I use it so often. It creates such a great effect. It's good for creating sky and a different pattern. You can create the effect of sort of wallpaper or a tartan background, and it's really is very versatile. So what I've done for this particular option is I've just done it in one direction and then another with a darker blue.
That's what makes you beautiful.
So I'm going to pop this on. I've just turned it upside down.
So Katrina and Katrin both use glass mats.
Ah, yes, yeah, glass mat. Yeah, that's I do have a glass mat actually, and I've not used it for ages. So, and I think when I'm filming, the glass reflects quite a bit, so I'm conscious of maybe reflecting a little bit. Thank you. Did you want my llama in
Katrina
picture? Wanted to see my little llama.
Is it a cat? No, it's a llama.
It's a llama. It's so cute. It's from the range.
Sharon asks, are you going to be selling the brushes?
Yes, we are going to be selling the brushes very, very soon. I took my ones, which are these colourful ones, to Peterborough, and everybody was asking about them. So yeah, we are going to. They are going to be for sale. They are going to be probably shown on Create and Craft first, and then we'll be able to bring them to you guys straight after.
We are very excited about.
We are so excited about them. I love them.
The colours and the branding is absolutely on point, and they do a great job of blending as well.
They really do. So if you can see what I'm doing here, I'm just applying a bit of ink to my brush, tapping a little bit off to one side, and then I'm just going from side to side and around. And because this is a smaller head to this particular brush, it allows you to get into these smaller areas really, really well. So just tapping a little bit off and then rubbing that through, and going over where I feel like it might need a little bit darker, and just to the top.
Everyone's very excited about the brushes. Lovely colours. Get loads in. We all need them.
I honestly don't know how I blended before these. Really, it seems like this should always have been in existence. So there you can see we've just got a line going one way. So if we turn our stencil this way and make sure that I've got a straight line. I could see you looking over my shoulder then to make sure I've got a straight line.
Yes, I was seeing how straight you were. Yeah.
Seeing how straight I was.
Having that conversation.
Yeah. I knew you were. So.
Is there a reason that you mask the stencil from behind rather than?
Yes. So the reason that I've done that is because if I tried to do it the other way, then because I'm doing right to the edge of my cardstock, then my my washi tape would be on the cardstock that I was trying to blend onto. So if I pop it on the back, like so, it doesn't interfere with the area that I'm blending into. So I hope that made sense. Oh, thank you.
I'm just going to quickly get to that.
We are live. Yes, well, so my assistant has just stepped out of the room. So if anybody's got any comments, he will be back very, very soon. So I'm just, you can see, I'm just rubbing that colour over the top, and then moving that around, and then we'll take that away, and then we've got this plaid background, or gingham type background, and then just with what's left of the colour that's on my brush and that's on the side here, I'm just going to go over the top of that just to smooth that out even more, so that makes for a really, really nice smooth background. Yeah, I like that. He's back. So, and that's the background stenciling complete. But then what I did to add a little bit more of an interest was that went back in with my little bauble stamps. So And I just think that makes for a really nice patterned background as well. Something that I know the design team do a lot of. I've seen you guys do this on quite a few projects, where you'll use one of the littler stamps to create the background for your cards, or you'll make a whole card just from some of the smaller elements. So, and I just think that's really effective. So just bear with me a second, I just need a little stamping block, which was something else that I forgot as well while we were in Peterborough. I should be back. And here. Yes, I forgot to take any of my smaller stamping blocks. So I ended up using the die plate from my small die cutting machine, which wasn't ideal. It wasn't the best thing, but you know, I had to improvise. So I've popped my little bauble on here, and then I'm just using the same Salty Ocean Distress ink. And then I'm just going to randomly do these, and I'm going to go over the edge, flip it around, and just pop this all over the back in some different bits. And if we go over the edge, then it looks like we've cut it from some patterned paper. That's the effect that we're going for.
I was just going to ask, why do you go over the edge?
So it looks like it's you know, it's pre-done, pre-patterned paper. So it makes for a really nice effect. So pop those there, pop one there, I think, and flip that one around, do that one there. So again, this makes for quite a nice quick background. And what you could do if you were batch card making, which is what I was thinking, I know Ant wants us to make our Christmas cards for everyone this year, because you know we've not really got much to do, have we? so
well, it's more utilising all the
stuff we've got. You think, well, we might as well make cards. This is what we do for a living.
Yeah.
So you could stencil a larger piece of card with your background, stamp all your little baubles, and then just cut lots of sections out of it. So you have made your own patterned paper effectively, and I think that'd be really effective. So I'll just give that one a little clean. I think
I didn't imagine that they would be as extensive as these, by the way.
Well, you want them done right, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
So that's
who's currently making Christmas cards, or have you already done it? Are you ahead of yourself, or haven't you started yet? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Oh, sorry, I've moved all my background around. Sorry about that. Okay, so Distress ink's done.
Sharon says no domestics.
Sorry,
I know when I'm in the wrong, don't worry.
If only. Right, so one last bit of die cutting actually. So we've almost got all our elements together. So that's our back panel. I've got my warm winter wishes that I need to cut out. But I also need to cut out the frame. So the frame comes from a die set that I can't get my hands on right now, but it must be in here somewhere. Where's he gone? Where's he gone? It's from the Smile set. Come on now, Joe, where have you put it? It's on the back of this one. I know it is because I always forget where I put it. So there it is.
Wow, Christmas is 9 weeks today.
What? No, is it only 9 weeks?
9 weeks today.
Wow, that's scary. That is very, very scary.
Christmas Day on a Wednesday.
I don't like that at all.
That's rubbish.
That's too. I feel like that's too big. So I think we will have to. We'll have to cut that with our trimmer and see if I can do a good job. So this frame die is from the Smile frame die set. So So yeah, so this again is a really good and versatile little die set. And I need a bit more of my cardstock, so again I'm going to use one of my pre-cut pieces because these are perfect then to go into my my die cutting machine. I don't have to trim the paper down, and I'm going to use...
These are A6 Super Smooth 250 GSM.
They are, thank you very much. This is great having somebody who can, you know, remember all the bits that I forget to say.
Well, Katrina asked earlier on.
Oh, did you?
Oh, so I thought
thank
I'd just,
you.
Say it out loud.
Say it out loud. So we're just popping the frame in there. So yeah, so I am going to get some more of that in stock because it is, and I really love it. And it's so convenient, it already being cut for me. So while that's just die cutting,
You pretty much use A6 all the time, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
It's a nice size card, isn't it? That you make?
It is. It works perfectly with the size of images that we produce. And sorry, I'm just concentrating on lining this up while I'm talking.
Sure
as you can
nice
see, I know I can. This is going to be a disaster, isn't it?
Disaster.
A disaster. So yeah, so it does. They are perfect for that. I know a lot of. I don't know if we've got anybody who might be watching who uses the American. I'll line that up right. Oh God, I don't do it. Here we go. Raw. Yeah, the American A2 size, I think it is, which is slightly, I think it's slightly wider than an A6 card, but it's similar sort of size. That's a really nice size to use as well, but they're not as easy to find in this country. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that's pretty good for me. I think that's pretty decent. So my little frame will have die cut as well. Sorry for all the banging and clattering about. I've got a little nook at the side of me where my die cutting machine is and all my die cutting bits and bobs are. So that's why it makes a little bit of a noise. So the centre portion of that comes out like a little bit like a stamp, I think, a bit of like a postage stamp kind of thing, which is quite cute.
Yeah.
So that would make quite a nice little background piece, I think, for another card.
So send a big parcel of that size.
You could send a big parcel of that stamp. So I'm going to keep that to one side because I think I might use that for something else. And now we're getting to see what it might look like once it's finished. It's coming together. So we will start popping this together now. So I have got my my card blanks. So these are the A6 card blanks. We have got, I think, only one set of these left in the shop. So I will be getting some more of these guys in. Again, these are really, really good quality. I know Katrina took some of these when she came to do some demos for us at Doncaster because she loved them. They're really nice to blend straight onto because they're such a smooth quality of card. So so we will be getting some of these back in stock. So I'm going to apply my focal panel piece. Is what we've decided to call it.
Focal panel piece.
Focal panel piece with some Cosmic
FPP.
Shimmer glue.
Katrina says these card blanks are amazing. I love them.
Yay. So we'll pop that on.
Are they 250 GSM too?
I think yes, they are. I think they might actually be 300.
What does the GSM mean?
Oh, maybe somebody will be able to tell. I did know what it stood for. It's like...
Does anybody know what GSM stands for in reference to paper/card?
Something grams or something, I don't know. I need a little piece of clean paper because my hands are always filthy.
What do you want?
That's for pushing it down because I always end up with your hands clean. Just give it a little bit of a... Don't rub it, just press it. Goodness. Right, there we go, that's perfect. Thank you for your help. So that's where my frame's going to go. And that's where my warm winter wishes is going to go. I feel like I've not cut that fully straight.
It's grams per square metre.
Oh, there you go. I knew there was grams involved.
Right.
So I'm going to just snip that because I didn't feel that was fully straight, but now I'm happy. Right, so we're going to apply some shaker tape to the back of this frame so that it stands proud from the front of the card. So sorry if my fringe gets in the way, but I just need to line this up. So you could use this frame. Did it get in the way? I thought it would do. I have to be able to look properly, you see.
Yeah. You have to look with your eyes.
I have to look with my fringe. So yes, so that's this is a really nice little frame as well for shaker cards. So you could apply a bit of acetate to the back of it. And then pop some sequins in and make it into a nice little shaker card if you wanted to. So it makes for a nice little piece. My non-stick scissors have got a bit sticky, but we're all right. So I'm creating a bit of a mess, aren't I? But that's what craft tables look like.
Exactly, as long as you clean them up
afterwards. Yes. Does everybody clean up straight away afterwards? Probably not. I do try to because I don't like to start creating again in a mess.
Yeah, I imagine.
I like to start from a clean place.
Sharon said that's tidy.
Is it? Oh well, you see, I'm doing all right then.
You want to see it after a couple of hours.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm just going to line this up, and again my fringe might get in the way, so I do apologise. And I'll just pop that in place, and that's made for a really nice little window. Yeah, it's got my full head in the way. Sorry about that. Hopefully there were no visible greys. We don't want any of that. Okay, so now we can start popping this together and pop our tree on there. So the tree I'm going to use some foam squares for, or some foam pieces.
Sharon says she can't even see her desk after a couple of hours.
Really? Oh,
which
wow.
I think is pretty
That's
standard.
pretty standard, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. I don't think you've been doing it right if you...
Yeah. It's like baking, you have to get everything out of the cupboards.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
Just to make, a tray of scones or whatever. We're quite neat bakers though, because we're used to working in a small commercial kitchen.
A very small kitchen. Smallest kitchen ever. So I think I'm just going to cut down some of these so that they are the right size. So am I explaining what I'm doing, or am I just chatting rubbish? So the back of this, a few foam pads.
No, people, is Jo explaining or is she chatting
Am
rubbish?
I just chatting rubbish now?
Have I
gone off plan? Okay, so my little tree's going in the middle there. Yeah, and then we'll have our little penguin. So our little penguin's going to sit there. Now I never get this bit right. Pablo the penguin, sorry, I do apologise. So this side of Pablo, I don't need any foam pads on, and I always get this bit wrong. So I'm going to just draw myself a line there that says I don't need anything on that bit, because that's going to rest against the frame. But then the other bit will need a bit of foam tape. So I'll just pop that on there, and then a little bit on his hands there. Oh, took the back enough, but not the actual bit. And then a little bit on his foot.
Do you try and cover quite a lot of the images in foam tape then, rather than just placing like one in the middle of it?
So I don't go too mad, but any area that is going to need some extra support, like the feet and the wing, I like to add a little bit of extra on there.
That helps stop them like folding over.
That's right, and collapsing.
We don't want to collapse.
We definitely don't want them to collapse. So I think just there is just right, I think. And then he'll need his little his little bauble, and because part of the bauble will be across his wing, again that top bit won't need any adhesive, so I will just put the foam tape on the bottom part of the bauble, as that's the only bit that will need support.
Does that foam tape come already pre-cut into little tiny squares?
Yes. Wow. This one's already pre-cut. So that will just go on there. So he's just hanging his little bauble. Yeah, so they come in different sizes, you see.
Yes.
And I am looking at getting some sizes for in the shop as well. So that's so we'll pop that one on there, and then I just need a smaller one. So some of these, you see, I've cut to the size that I want, so they're much bigger, but they're quite a nice depth, so I've just cut them smaller.
What have you cut those with a Stanley knife?
No, just with my X-Cut non-stick scissors, which have become a bit sticky. So I just used my scissors to cut them
in half.
Yeah. And if you cut them while they've still got the backing on, while they've still got the two bits of backing on, that stops them sticking to your scissors. Or it's meant to anyway. So again, there might be a little bit of fringe. Well, I'll just pop that on there. There we go. So that's the last bit of the sentiment. Now what I did with this one is that I added a little bit of shimmer. Now it might be difficult to pick up on here, but I didn't have any of my other kind of glittery accessories, if you like, with me, because they wouldn't have dried. But because we're at home now and I can do that, I am going to just add a few little bits of extra glittery bits. So my first job is one that Katrina told me to do, and I'm just checking that my pen hasn't dried up, is to clear up this little bit of bleeding just here with my Jelly Roll pen. And I think my Jelly Roll pen might be a little bit clogged up. So I'll just cover that up. And then I do sometimes just use that to put a few highlights. Like I say, my pen seems to be a little bit clogged. I'll just wipe that on the back of my hand. See if we can get it warmed up a bit.
Annalisa says, adorable cards, and you've got to love glittery bits.
You have got to love glittery bits. It wouldn't be Christmas without some glittery bits.
That's it. Tinsel and glitter on everything at Christmas.
That's right. So I'm just adding a bit of white to his eyes so he looks like he's alive.
The trick is not to press too hard so the ink flows.
Oh, Katrina, she's got all of
Top
the
tips.
info. Top tip.
Katrina's top tips.
She's got all of the info. Yeah, it seems to be flowing now. I think it might have just gone a bit cold and wasn't really flowing, but I did notice that the top hadn't been put on properly. So that's my bad.
Anila says, so adorable.
Oh, thank you. So what have I done with all my glittery bits? Right, my glittery bits are here. So I'm going to use, I think, some stickles. I think would be really nice around the edge of the frame. Again, it's Christmas and glitter, and I think this just looks a little bit like snow. You know, when you've got a little bit of some frozen icicles around the window or something. Just as that.
Yeah, we get a lot of those in Sheffield.
What? We do. We get a lot of snow and horrible weather in Sheffield over the winter. but
I hate the snow. We're definitely summer people.
We are, aren't we? We do prefer the sunshine.
We love those 3 days of summer that we get.
Yeah. But there is something really, I don't know, there's something really nice about, you know, getting all wrapped up. When you don't have to go outside in it, I think it's all right. It's when you have to go outside in it that it's not so much fun. So this is what I wanted to do with my star, but I couldn't because I didn't have this with me when we were at the show. And that's just created my glittery star. And then I'm going to use the clear Nouveau drops, I think, or shall I use my glossy accents? I think I'll use the clear Nouveau drops, and I've not tested these, so I'm not going to blob it all out. Oh, that seems absolutely fine. And I'm going to use that on my bauble, because this will dry clear and it will give the illusion of a glass bauble. And then one of the other things that I like to do is to give my penguin a little shimmery beak, or a little glassy beak. So just pop a little bit of that on there. And that, I think, is done. What do we think? I don't think it really needs any more glitter unless I put some around the sentiment. What do we think? Maybe just outline my sentiment with some of the stickles. I might do that, why not?
Some of the stickles.
Yeah. So we'll just... Oh, don't blob everywhere.
So cute, great card.
Oh, thank you. Who's that? Is that you?
Katrina. And Elisa says, go for it.
Yes, the more glittery stuff, the better. I've become I've been using my stickles on everything, and I haven't used them for ages. I think I've had this bottle for forever, and now it's almost all gone.
It's getting to that time of year though, I guess you're doing more.
Yeah, I'm doing more glittery samples and things. So, yes, so that finishes it.
Anila says it looks lovely.
Thank you very much. So that's, I mean, I don't know how long we've been on, but
1 hour to 3 minutes.
1 hour and 3 minutes. So that's not bad in an hour from scratch. A complete card. So that was the original inspiration, and that's the one that we've done this evening. So so hopefully you like that. That was all right. It will be available for you to view from tomorrow on YouTube. We'll also have it on Instagram as a speeded up version, and you'll be able to access it via the blog as well. So hopefully there's been something there, some techniques that people have found useful. We'll be doing this every Wednesday from now on. I might not have my fabulous assistant every time, but hopefully he'll be with me a bit more regular. And thank you ever so much, everybody, for watching. We'll see you all again soon.
Yes, and don't forget, because it is every Wednesday at 8 o'clock UK time, feel free to share it with any of your crafty friends. And who else might be interested in this sort of...
Yeah, thank you. That would be fantastic if you would. Thank you. See you all again soon.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Your assistant is amazing. Just get that in. Thanks, Anila.
Bye. Bye, guys. Thank you for watching. See you again. Bye-bye.